This is The Real Chat, where we discuss the real.
From relationships to love.
To all around companionship.
I'm LL.
And I am Sunny.
Let's get to chatting. Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hey.
And welcome to
The Real Chat. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode.
And please remember to hit that subscribe button so that we can continue bringing this conversation to you.
Let's get to chatting.
Let's do that. Hey, everybody. I want to introduce you to my co-host for the day. This is Miss Makari Tarpley, coming to us all the way from Howard University, the prestigious HU.
You know.
In the house, HU.
You know.
Hey, look, so today our topics, we're going to deal with some things and address some things that these young Gen Zers are experiencing with campus life, campus love, campus relationships. And should they start their lifelong journey with a partner coming from the university? Should they not? So that's where we're going to go. So what's that topic, okay?
First loves. Is it okay to be one and done?
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah.
But hey, coming from my niece, proudly my niece, very intelligent, very in depth, very in touch, bringing that subject, she does have some experience because she's already connected with possibly a partner that will carry along in her life and their lives together. No guarantees, no pressure.
Right.
Okay.
No pressure.
But in addressing that, because Makari is now 21.
Yes.
Okay, and her boyfriend is?
His name is Dylan.
Okay.
He's also 21.
Okay. They're also in the same majors pretty much. Okay. She's in theater. He's in music. Okay. They already have plans to move on beyond that to New York together to continue to pursue their careers. Okay. So what I was thinking about with this is, of course, Sonny and I, who is on vacation, she will be back for the next episodes. But we try to address issues that culminate from generation to generation to generations. She is a millennial, and so I really try to take these conversations from that point to get their view on what's happening today, but also to bring in, I guess, my experience from my years in being in a successful, loving relationship. Okay, so that's where we're going to go today. But what I wanted to ask you, Makari, is about now seeing what you see, from your friends in the university, being on campus, living on campus, experiencing campus life, going to classes, going to events, you guys socializing.
Yeah.
Are you seeing more of that, coming from Howard University as far as relationships developing that are lasting relationships, that are mature relationships? I know a little bit about her relationship, and it's a very mature relationship. They're youngsters to me, but they're not kids anymore. So that, and then being mature individuals, that adds to their relationship, and I think it gives it that opportunity. They're kind of past that immaturity that I guess a lot of youngsters still have for a while, because we're really experiencing from a lot of conversations and then a lot of feedback we're getting from folks like you that most folks in their 20s, they're not really thinking so much about relationships, or being in a serious relationship with one individual. They just want to have fun and focus on their careers, which is understandable, and that's okay too. But like I said, I wanted to address you coming from Howard University, being there, experiencing your peers, and the things that you all are doing as far as relationships. So talk to me about relationships.
It's real interesting. I feel like a little bit of an oddball at school being in a relationship, because I didn't start my relationship until the spring of my sophomore year, and now I'm a senior. It's the fall semester of my senior year. And going up to my sophomore year, I had friends, and even I was talking to people, trying to, test the water, see what was up, but it was a lot of testing.
Right.
No one ever really settled. And even when people did find somebody that they thought was the one, like it would fall out
Right.
and it didn't
Right.
last.
Right.
But now I'm close to 2 years
Mm-hmm.
being in this relationship, and I really don't know anybody in my close circle that could say the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're still looking,
Right.
or they don't even want to look anymore because
Right.
they feel like Howard isn't the place to do that.
Oh, so they kind of feel like, you know, that possible pool of opportunities really isn't there. You think, you know, I'll ask from the female point of view. Do you think females are saying these guys aren't mature enough yet? They're not ready. They're not. Really not worthy to have my attention in that way. What do you think?
Yeah, I think for a lot of my girlfriends and like seeing what's going on campus, because you know Howard is a predominantly girl school. Like I think it used to be 70-30,
Okay.
but now it's like 80-20.
Wow.
So the boy population is slowly
Yeah,
decreasing.
Right. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, real bad. But it's okay, because you know, who run the world? Girls, period. But yeah, I don't know. I think with there not being a lot of guys on campus, I think a lot of the girls just feel like it's hard to come by a good guy on campus that Buki number 1, 2, and 3 haven't already
Right.
experienced.
Right.
And that could also be your homegirl. It's
Right.
like there's not really a big pool
Wow.
of people to choose from.
So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So, in you know what I'm hearing, and this, I guess you can say this in a lot of areas, well, all over the world today. You know, women are generally outnumbering men, but also in how women are climbing. I kind of want to say, or you know, not to say that race, or not race, but ethnicities or cultures of certain women, white women, black women, Asian women, Latin women, that the men, how can I say it, that the men are not growing to the level, especially in education, knowledge, experience, maturity, as the women are today. I think we're experiencing a lot of that. And that's a big issue because,
Yeah.
you know, I'm hearing a lot of women say guys just ain't got together. Like guys, if I'm talking to women in their 20s or in their 30s, they're saying guys just aren't mature and not responsible and think that they are the catch, you know, and want women to chase them, which again, from my view and my generation, this is the complete opposite. Men were the hunters, you know, men went after the women to gain their attention, to gain their love, their trust, okay? So I'm hearing a lot of that by women. And then, you know, you got to look at all of the statistics where women are gaining in getting their education, becoming successful, having their own businesses, you know, pretty much doing it on their own. And that's, you know, it's a really sad thing for men today, especially young men, because that's like just, you know, a competition wall that is getting harder and harder for them to overcome. So like you said, on campus though, it's kind of that same thing, because now you said it's like 80-20,
Yeah.
you know, and now I'll be honest, for a lot of men back in the day, love those kind of numbers. This is, the opportunities. And because if I am a decent guy, there are more people coming trying to, you know, have this opportunity or see if they can be the one that can rise to the top of the crop.
Right.
Rise to the top of everybody else. You know, be that number one. But I think it's changed a lot today, just generation wise, where women are like, I don't need a man. You know, I might want a man, but I don't need a man.
Yeah.
Especially if that man isn't developing and growing and has direction as I do. And also willing to come and work with me, and we work together as a team to build our lives, develop, become better, you know, grow as a couple, but also grow our lives.
Yeah.
You know, and what we want, you know, the home we want, the life we want, the travel we want, the children we want. You know, I think all of that is at a challenging place today. And just talking to you, it's kind of seems like it's just continuing, and I guess not getting better.
Yeah, it's really hard to like, because again, I'm not on the boy side of it, but you know, getting closer to my boyfriend and his friends, I was talking to some of his guy friends the other day, and it was interesting to hear their perspectives on what one of them was going through with like talking to a girl, but he himself was like, I'm a free guy, like I have options, I'm still learning, and it's valid, that opinion, but like you said, the culture's changing. Women, their standards for guys are rising.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great thing. I mean, if you know your self-worth, if you know what you think you deserve, why not reserve that for somebody who can meet it?
Right.
Don't drop the standard just because this is the first person that shows interest in you.
Right.
But it does get hard because I don't think most guys or some guys don't really understand that, and they're like, well, if they have their standards and they want to do what they want to do, then I'm gonna do what I want to do. But as a girl, I don't really want to see you running the streets and hanging with so and so and so and so just because you want to, and then you're gonna try to come to me and hang out with me. No. So I stand with the girls that have their standards high, and it does get tough, it does get hard, because I think in this stage in our lives, like we're finally, and this is something that I feel like I stepped into when I turned 21, was I finally felt free to like just be my own self without feeling tied to my childhood, being tied to an image that my family or my peers or people around me had of me because I was a young person. Hitting 21, it's like you are officially an adult now.
Right.
So you can do adult things.
Officially, legally.
Yeah. You are, in the eyes of everybody now, you are legally an adult. So you have free range to literally do whatever you want to do without judgment. People can think what they want, but you're an adult now.
Right.
You're an adult. It's okay.
And you got to live your life.
Yeah. But so many people, I think they feel that like almost awakening, and it's like, okay, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
But sometimes doing whatever you want like that
Isn't always the best thing. Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, at 21 and especially, you go away to school. You are on your own. Your parents are not there every moment to oversee your decisions, to direct your decisions, to manipulate your decisions. And I mean that is really a parent's role up to a point, because they got to raise you and they want to make sure you turn out right, you go in the right direction. But like you said, if you get a certain age, you leave home, they're hoping they've instilled those values in you. So you do the right things, but you're a human being, you're 21, whatever, 18, 19, going to school. And I'm away from all of that supervision.
Right.
So, like I said, hopefully they instill that in you, you remember it, and you say, okay, I ain't gonna wild out, but so much.
Right.
Because my parents did teach me the right way.
Yeah.
But also you get to a place like Howard, and I know because I'm a HU, what do you call it?
Alumni
also. So, I know getting on that campus in that first week and just seeing all of the beautiful women. Now, I don't think you all had those numbers over as 80-20 at that point, but it was probably like, it was, y'all probably, it was probably at least 5 to 6 to 1, maybe 10 to 1. So again, that as a youngster, you thinking, man, I got so many options. But again, going there and comparing then to now, it's a big difference, because I think back then, coming from my generation, guys, of course, young men are young men, and they trying to sow their wild oats and trying to, take advantage of all opportunity that's there. But also, you get to that place, and you're at a place, you're going to school, and you're going to higher education to make more opportunity for yourself. So if you're thinking seriously about that, and it might take, because you first get to school, and it's just like that first year is just like, party, let's just have a good time.
Yeah.
But once you get into that second year, that third year, you think about what you're doing, where you're going,
right,
and what is this all about.
Right.
So you're more focused, you're into your major, you're looking at where that's going to take you. So the same thing, I think, especially for women, because they have a higher maturity than men. They say women do mature faster than men. I believe that. So I think, like I said, you get to that place, and especially for you young ladies, you say, okay, I'm serious about my career and where I'm headed. So if it's going to be a guy that's going to be with me, like, see, I don't want him all over the street. I don't want to know that he's been with my girl here, my girl here, my girl over there. I want to see that brother focus on where he's going. and also how, because you get an opportunity to see men and how they treat women, okay, in that situation. And in that, you get to really watch, certain guys and watch and see, hey, this guy has the characteristics that I'm feeling. But also, he's having an opportunity to check you out, right? And a man who is focused, who is determined, who is driven, who is about something, they're thinking, because by this time, second year, third year, they've done the plan, and not saying that they finished playing, because that's still young. Like I said, most men and women today at that age aren't even thinking about a relationship. Just I'm gonna have as much fun as I can, and that's okay. That's all right. But when someone like yourself, like I said, is focused, you're not so much focused on having a man, but I think you're focused on being serious about where you're going.
Yeah.
So when you happen to come across a man who is doing that same thing, but also he's serious about getting to know you and getting to show himself to you and how maturely developed he is and where he's going, and he's interested in you. So he's doing everything he can, along with getting his studies done, taking care of his work, his projects, preparing, but he's also studying you. And from what I just perceive and I take, your young man is doing that. He's giving you enough space where he's not saying, I gotta be with you every moment, because he's like, you gotta do your thing in school, he gotta do his.
Yeah.
But he's there, you all are there for each other. And like you said, today that is rare. As I'm hearing, ladies, that's rare, especially for a young man in his early 20s. But I'd say I was that young man too, and I think I did a lot of my planning before I met that one woman. But then there was something about that one woman that just captured me. And not that there weren't other women that had the opportunity to capture me. I even had my heart broken because I thought that was the one that had done some capturing. But it was a whole different thing, and I'm not going into that. It was different than what I ended up finding with the woman I've spent a lifetime with. Okay? And so I think when you're mature in mind, you're mature in heart, you're mature in spirit, as a young man, and you find that thing, I'm not going to say all of a sudden, boom, you know it, and you say, I'm done with other women, and I just want this one. But when you give yourself time to understand this young lady who's really caught your attention, she has all the qualities that you didn't even think that you were looking for. You can't even explain it. It takes more maturity before you can point out, well, she had this, she had this, she had that, she had that. And those were all things that I didn't know that I needed and wanted. So that takes a little bit more time. But what you feel inside, what you feel in your head, in your heart, in your spirit, those things grab you. I'm speaking as a young man. If you meet that young woman at a young age, and that, when you look around at everything else, and when you really start looking, and you see all of these beautiful women, as a man does, and just because a man is interested in one lady or loves one lady, doesn't mean that he stops noticing beautiful women. Okay? That continues. But he knows that this one that he has been fortunate enough to grab her attention, and he's fortunate enough to gain her time, that he's looking and saying, the other stuff, that's all nice window dressing. But I don't know if they still have the same thing to offer that she offers me.
Right.
She's fulfilling a need, my soul, my desires, my thoughts. Where the other women, I weighed that. I didn't know immediately, but I said, other ones, they were great, and they were great young ladies, and we had a great friendship, but it wasn't that connection. When you get a chance to meet that one, it's kind of like, whoa, and you're thinking about them 24/7, and you think about things you want to do for them, and how you want to help them, and how you want to be there for them, how you want to support them, and they're doing vice versa, and that does something. So, you're talking about, you have a lot of friends who have kind of like said, I'm not seeing that from the men that I've had an opportunity to get to know to this point, and they're but because they're already focused on where they're going for themselves.
Yeah.
But they're like, I don't know if this is the place. You know, I don't know if these men are ready.
Yeah.
And a lot of them aren't. But that's what you know, as a young man, if that's what you want as a young lady, when you notice it, you know, it grabs you.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying, though, talking about how those relationships develop or they don't develop on campus, what do you think? Because, like you said, becoming an adult and coming into your own, what do you think what do you think makes the difference for you for a man? You know, when that man really grabs your attention and then he shows you his worth. What really makes you, you know, what made you say, well, this guy, I'm going to give him a little bit more attention. I'm going to give him some time to prove himself. What made you say that?
Yeah. I think when I met Dylan, or I was honestly considering Dylan and like talking to him seriously, I had just come out of like a not great situationship with somebody. And I think that's when I kind of like how my friends have decided now. I was like, okay, I'm off the boys here. Like, I'm just about to focus on what I'm doing. That's always been my focus, but I always had the mindset of like, if something's meant for me, it'll find me. So I never really went out of my way to like try and find somebody, talk to somebody. It's if
And
they
you
come
should.
to me,
You
right?
should.
If they come to me, that's what it was meant to happen in the moment. If it doesn't last, it doesn't. So I think when Dylan was in my peripheral and like I was seeing him around, I knew he liked me because he was very upfront. That's something I'll say about Dylan that has always piqued my interest, was he knew what he wanted and he was straight to the point in how he wanted it. So he had texted me over the summer when we didn't even know each other really. We were just mutuals on social media. And he just slid into my DMs, and in a nice way though, not in like no raunchy way.
Right.
But it was really sweet, and he just said, I think you're so pretty and I would love to get to know you. And that was so kind to me because no one's ever come to me like that way.
Right.
Yeah. And then he was never like not obsessive, but he wasn't like overbearing with it. He would just say hi. And it was almost like he had the same mentality that I did, like whatever was meant to happen would happen. So he didn't force himself onto me. That's what it was. He wasn't forcing himself onto me, but he stayed persistent in a respectful way. So when I had fallen out with the person I was talking to, he showed me that he was there for me, but he wasn't like, oh, you free now, so let me slide in. It was just, hey, I'm here if you ever want to talk. And then we were in a show together, and it was just friendliness, but still like a little bit of flirting here and there, but it was nothing too dramatic. Like, he never did too much, and I think that's something that a lot of people fall victim to, is like they do a little bit too much
they
too
go
soon.
too far. Yeah. Take it too serious too quickly.
Yeah, and then people get scared. Like, Dylan kind of had a moment where it was like, he kind of jumped, and I was like, ooh, hold on, hold on, hold on. And I just...
And you all are usually the ones that have to kind of slow us down, because when somebody gets us, you know, it's not that we're saying we got to lock you up or we got to lock you down, or you got to be our girl, you got to tell us the day you are, we boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing. I don't know if y'all do that anymore, but, you know, back in my time, because my girlfriend, my wife, the woman of my dreams, did the same thing. She was like, you know, we spend so much time together, and you know, and she told me, she said, I love it, but I'm scared. I'm just a little scary, because she had come out of a relationship that didn't treat her that great, and so she was thinking, I'm gonna be out here for a minute, and I'm gonna see what's really out here, and then bam, I'm in her life, you know, because I'll say this, I think I was that one to be in that spot, you know, but for her. And just like you're saying, you had to say, hey, slow it down. That's what she wanted. But understanding that and going through some of the things I had gone through before, like I had my heart broken, I knew what I would not tolerate again, and I would not just give openly of myself and allow somebody else to just take. So I knew that. So I said, okay, you know, I think that was a bit of maturity from that experience then, that I said, okay, I'm not gonna push this young lady. You know, but I'm not gonna be so understanding as well as, why don't you just go have fun with everybody? I'm gonna be right here. You know? I was like, if you think we're moving too fast, if you need to have some time, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna give you that time. And I think because I actually got to a point where I stepped back, Not saying that, you know, because we didn't have any titles then. You know, we weren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend yet. This is a few months in. So when I stepped back, you know, and she allowed me to step back, because we had a discussion maybe a few times before, or a couple times, and she never wanted me to take that step back. Well, this time I said, look, I'm gonna take the step. You might not want me to, but I'm gonna take the step because I need you to know what you want, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if this is something that you want to continue or go further with.
Yeah.
But the moment I did that and she saw that I was for real, you know, I wasn't going to be no lay down cat and be like, okay, you know, I'm so in love with you. Do whatever you want to do. She saw that, but she knew that I did care. Because I told her at that point, my heart is in this. I'm not playing. You like some side chick. You know, for me, you it. Yeah, there are other women out here. But for me, you're it. But, you know, if that's too much, I'm going to back up. And when I did, not 2 days later, did she show up at my house, you know, and try to act like, because by that point, my mother and my sisters loved this woman, you know? I mean, loved her. So her excuse was, well, I was coming to see your mom and your sisters, you know? But from that day forward, here we are, you know, decades later. Okay, so... And what you tell me about, you know, your guy now, this sounds like something that's developing. You know? And how do you feel about that? Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with it. I'm cool. It's same thing. Like, I love where we're at, but it's still not forcing anything, letting things happen naturally. And I think something you were saying that I really kind of heard was like, when you have a respect for the other person, but then also have respect for yourself, and clear communication at the same time, it's almost like a holy trinity. Like, it all just works out. So I think that's something that, like, you and Auntie Sheila have mastered and perfected, and that's why you all, like,
I hope so.
You guys have lasted and are beautiful. And I think that's what I hope so many people, like, take away is, you can't just give everything to the other person. You have to have it for yourself at the same time.
Don't give yourself away. No one's worth that. It's a mutual, and it's a partnership.
And that's why in moving and progressing my relationship, as much as I do love my boyfriend, I'm like, I don't want to make him my world because I am still a person. I still have to develop my life, my occupation, what I want to do with myself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that for yourself and something happens to that person, you guys don't last, what do you have? You haven't built yourself. You haven't built your love for yourself. You're kind of stuck. You are stuck in a depression. You're stuck in like a matrix. You don't know what to do with yourself. It's like limbo. So I always saw the importance of, like, self-love and self-care. And when you lead with that, like, people find you. And if you guys are on the same level like that, it's all going to work out. It's all going to be harmonious.
And you heard that? And that is The Real Chat. Peace. Thanks for joining us.